Hello everybody, my name is Aceface. I wanted to talk to you guys in this video about why the Punisher is an excellent DED hunting / anomaly grinding ship for beginners in high-sec space, more focused on Amar high-sec space. This is less applicable to Caldari space because the Amar Punisher does EM and thermal damage, and that is the best type of damage type to use against the Sansha and Blood Raiders that you find in a Mars space. You could for other weapons, but it's mainly focused towards using laser-based weapons. And what's then the reason why I think this is an amazing ship? Because I know there's a lot of people who use stuff like jackdaws, destroyers, even Gilas for doing high-sec anomaly hunting. What do I mean by high-sec anomaly hunting if you're not too acquainted with it? Well, I'm talking about the Sansha hideaways and the Sansha refuges. You can see here if we can find any. Let's see now. I've been doing quite a few of these sites recently. Tons of these, in fact. And it's just been so smooth. And I'm so surprised I didn't think about this ship as a really good ship to grind through these. But if you fit this correctly, it's an awesome anomaly grinding ship. And the reason is because, number one, it is the good damage type that you can use to face the enemies in Amar space. So you're doing thermal and EM damage. And then number two, a reason that it's great is because it's a gun-based ship. And what this means is that I can just warp in here to the anomaly, and then the second I lock up the enemy, I can just instantly blap, 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 blap. And that's what's great about this, because you can then use beam lasers. That's the type of fit I tend to go when I'm doing this kind of anomaly grinding style fits. I go with beam lasers, and then you see here, I just warp in. I usually try to group these up into two groups. I just shift group them like that. Here's a group. You see you've got like a practice and everything here. But we're probably going to be able to outcompete these guys just because we've got the beam lasers. They're able to just instantly blap and blap. Like this. See here, we can lock them up. And we can even go for small ammunition types. This, and then we just blap and blap. It's very good for this because the thing with the Punisher, it's a frigate. Frigates usually are able to lock stuff a lot faster than the bigger ships, the battleships, the cruisers. So this makes it so that you're going to be able to lock stuff up before these guys are. You see this guy here? He's a little bit angry at me that I was able to destroy some of those ships here. And it's just because this frigate here is able to lock up stuff faster. And as soon as I can lock stuff up, I can just instantly blap them. When it comes to doing the hideaways and the refuges, you don't really need a ton of DPS. The main thing there is that you need to be able to apply really well good DPS. I've mentioned this a lot of times before, but application is key here in these sites where you've got small NPCs. The time it takes to just do damage and get the damage to apply, I find it to make a bigger difference than being able to do tons of DPS. Like you do use cruise missiles with 1k DPS. This is going to easily wreck anyone who goes with a fit like that, or heavy assault missiles in a Drake. This is going to be so much better because if you think of something like a Drake, okay, it's a battle cruiser, tons of DPS. You can get 800 plus DPS with good heavy assault missile fits. Little Punisher here, chilling around 130 DPS, is going to complete these sites a lot more quicker. It's going to be able to lock up stuff faster than Drake, so Drake is already like a disadvantage. And then when the Drake has actually locked up its enemies, then it's going to have the missile flight time. Like it takes a bit of time for the missiles to get to their target. And then on top of that, the missiles then, they don't really fully apply usually to these small stuff because it's like big like cruiser based missiles. We are using frigate based guns here, able to do maximum damage. So in actuality, the little Punisher here that's only going for like 10 million or even 8 million ISK is going to outcompete something like a big battle cruiser. There are some, you could do a very hyper specialized setup like a battle cruiser that is able to have lots of modules that increase lock time, that you can maybe get similar lock time to this, and then perhaps do extra DPS or more DPS than this ship here. Like maybe if you would go something like a tornado or a heavy assault cruiser. But then again, you're using so much more money, and then you've got this tiny little Punisher who's able to do similar kinds of performance. But even when you go and outfit a really big ship to try to like be super twitchy and blappable when it comes to the NPCs, you're not going to be able to beat them the warp time, because this little ship here, frigates, also have another advantage. They have got fast warp speed and fast line time, And when you're doing this anomaly hunting like we're doing here, you're going to be going through many sites. You're going to be warping around a ton. It's very beneficial to have some good warp speed and good align time to get through as many sites as possible. Because at the end of the day, that's what improves your ISP per hour, being able to get those DED sites as quick as possible. The amount of sites you do. It's not how much DPS you do, it's just how much sites you complete per hour. And the Punisher is going to do an excellent job at that. So you can see here, I'm even able to go into these refuges, and I'm going to absolutely wreck these guys here. I have got really good skills here, but you could go with a similar principle if you are someone who's got lower skill character, but you may need to add a little bit more tank. So what I'm doing here is I've got an Afterburner just so I can just move around a little bit easier than I otherwise would be without Afterburner. Otherwise, to be honest, it's not completely mandatory, but it's good. I have an extra mid slot. I'm going to use it then here. Then I have the cap battery to provide some just, extra cap bonuses so I can power all my modules. I'm going all for the DPS here. I'm pimping my DPS out as much as possible. Now it's very basic modules here, not pimping out, but I mean I'm boosting my DPS to be as good as possible here. And then this makes it so then I'm going to, obviously doing a lot of DPS to get through the sites quicker to compensate for me being a tiny little frigate. Then I've got the armor repair, and the armor repair here is just, basic armor repair. But the Punisher is great because it has a lot of bonuses to resistances. And then on top of that, the Sansha, and the Blood Rays for that matter as well, they do EM and thermal damage. And armor-based ships in general, like the Punisher, have natural high EM and thermal resist. So I'm able to get by here with just one armor repair and have pretty good resistances here without having to really do any big modifications to my ship. The only other modification I have to increase my tank is this auxiliary nano pump here. And the reason I have this auxiliary nano pump is just to, give us that little extra safety of armor repair rate. And then this module here, compact signal amplifier, what does this do? Well, this sort of complements the sense weakness that the Punisher has. It's not got the best lock range, it's 30 kilometers, so I can lock up everything. So this makes so that even when I'm using stuff with Aurora, which has like 30 kilometer range, I'm able to lock them up straight away. So what happens here is then not only that, this signal amplifier is going to amplify my lock time, so I get faster lock time. So then that's going to be even better for that matter. I'm going to be able to lock stuff even quicker than I otherwise would be. I mean, frigates by default, they lock up stuff quick. They'll be even quicker now that I've got a signal amplifier. So can you see here how I'm all trying to optimize this twitchiness, how I'm able to like warp around quickly by being in a frigate, high DPS, just output as much DPS as possible, lock up stuff quick, and just focus on being like an absolute bullet here, or going around capitalizing on the innate bonuses of the Punisher. I think this is an awesome ship to do these high second anomaly grindings in. And for the price, it's amazing. I mean, 8 million ISK here for a ship that I would say is almost as good as Tech 3 destroyers. Tech 3 destroyers with auto-targeting missiles, for example, say a Jackdaw is probably going to outcompete this. But I mean, compared to like a Hecate, it's going to be similar performance here. You're going to be able to do damage straight away. You've got pretty good range with these beam lasers, and that's also the reason I use beam lasers, because beam lasers have good range. So when I warp in straight away like this, I don't really have to go too far to be able to do maximum DPS to these guys. I maybe go with standard. Yeah, standard. And then again, a little bit closer just so I can use the multi-frequency. But if you're going to the hideaways, usually the hideaways, the NPCs, they spawn a little bit further away, like 30 kilometers. Then it's nice to have the beam lasers, especially because you can use Aurora and just blap them straight away, like the site we had initially. And just move a bit closer. And then this one here. Great. So you can see here, it's super smooth. This ship warps around fast, has good range, good application, locks our stuff quick, and is also pretty tanky against the specific type of NPCs we're facing here. And if you put the right module on this fit, like say you get an escalation to 3 out of 10, you can just alter the fit slightly to have a bit more tank, and you'll be able to get through that too without any problems. So that's why I love this ship. I think it's a really good economy-based ship, but also a really effective ship at doing high-sec anomaly hunting in Sansha / Blood Raider space or Mars space. It's just really powerful, does the stuff smoothly. Love it. Very good for the price. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video here. This is then for people who want to start out and do high-sec anomaly hunting in a Mars space. You can, as I said before, refit this. Say you're having troubles with the tank, remove this signal amplifier, put a resistance module with damage control or multi-spectrum energized membrane. If you have even still problems with the tank, you could remove this, put another module. Or you could even put a second armor repair and boost the cap with maybe some extra cap modules instead of the afterburner here. All is up to you depending on your skills. I've got pretty high skills here, and that's why I've got so little modules dedicated to the tank here, because I can sort of afford it because of how good my skills are to sort of compensate for me having not so many modules on my ship. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something new. The Punisher, an awesome high-sec anomaly grinder for MR space. If you did enjoy the video or learn something new, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later.